Before we dive in, a quick but important note. The information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and while I have extensive experience in real estate marketing, I am not a licensed real estate broker in every state. Real estate is intensely local and market conditions can change in an instant. It is absolutely critical that you consult with a qualified, local real estate professional and a financial advisor before making any significant decisions about your property. This presentation is designed to empower you with knowledge, not to serve as a substitute for professional advice tailored to your specific situation. Alright, let's get straight to it. You're trying to sell your house. You've done everything right. You've decluttered, you've deep cleaned, you've maybe even put a fresh coat of neutral paint on the walls. Your real estate agent comes over, takes some photos of your beautiful, empty rooms and lists it online. And then a crickets. A few clicks here and there, maybe a lowball offer, but the excitement, the flood of interest you were promised, it just isn't there. Your biggest financial asset is sitting on the market, collecting dust and costing you money every single day. What if I told you that the biggest mistake you're making is the one thing you thought was a smart move? What if I told you that those clean, empty rooms are actively repelling the perfect buyers and costing you tens of thousands of dollars? Sounds crazy, I know. You're told to depersonalize, to create a blank canvas. But here's the brutal truth the real estate industry doesn't always tell you. A blank canvas doesn't inspire people, paralyzes them. 90% of home buyers today start their search online. They are sitting on their couch, scrolling through Zillow or Redfin at lightning speed. They swipe past dozens, even hundreds of listings. Your property has less than 3 seconds to capture their attention and make an emotional connection. 3 seconds. And what does an empty room communicate in those 3 seconds? Communicates nothing. It's a void, an echo chamber of beige walls and wood floors. The buyer's brain can't process it. They look at an empty living room and they don't see a cozy space for family movie nights. They see a confusing box of unknown dimensions. They ask themselves, will my sectional sofa even fit in here? It looks small. They look at an empty spare bedroom and they don't see a perfect nursery or a productive home office. They see a forgotten space with a weirdly placed window. Every tiny scuff on the baseboard, every minor imperfection in the drywall, is magnified under the harsh glare of an empty space. There's nothing else to look at. The house feels cold, sterile, and unloved. And a buyer who can't emotionally connect with a house, who can't immediately picture their own life unfolding within its walls, will never, ever pay top dollar for it. They'll just swipe to the next listing. Now, for decades, the solution to this problem has been traditional home staging. And let's be clear, it works. Statistics from the National Association of Realtors consistently show that staged homes sell significantly faster and for more money than their vacant counterparts. Professional stagers are artists. They come in with truckloads of perfectly curated furniture, rugs, art, and accessories. They understand scale, flow, and color theory. They transform that cold, empty box into a warm, inviting home that screams, "Buy me." But here's the part that makes most homeowners' stomachs drop: the cost. Traditional staging is brutally expensive. You're not just paying for the furniture, you're paying for the designer's consultation fee, which can be hundreds of dollars. You're paying for the furniture rental itself, often on a monthly basis, which can run from $2,000 to $10,000 or more for the initial period, depending on the size of your home and the quality of the items. You're paying for the movers to bring it all in and set it up. You're paying for insurance in case anything gets damaged. And then when the house finally sells, you're paying them again to come and take it all away. It's a massive logistical headache. It requires a significant upfront investment at a time when you're already stressed about selling. And if your house sits on the market for a few months, you're stuck renewing that costly rental contract over and over again. For the average American homeowner, dropping $5 to $10 grand on temporary furniture just isn't feasible. So for years, this powerful sales weapon has been reserved for luxury listings and sellers with deep pockets. The rest of us were left to cross our fingers and hope a buyer with a really good imagination would come along. Until now. What we're going to talk about in this video is the single biggest paradigm shift in real estate marketing in the last 20 years. It is the technology that is leveling the playing field, democratizing high-end design, and allowing everyday homeowners to compete with multi-million-dollar listings. It's called virtual staging. So what is it? Simply put, it's Hollywood-level CGI for your house. The process is brilliantly simple. We start with high-quality, professional photographs of your empty rooms. Then, instead of trucking in thousands of dollars of physical furniture, we use sophisticated 3D modeling software to digitally place stunning, photorealistic furniture, art, rugs, plants, and decor directly into the photos. A team of talented digital artists can transform that empty living room into a cozy mid-century modern masterpiece. That confusing bonus room? It's now a fully equipped aspirational home gym. The master bedroom that looked small and awkward? It now features a perfectly scaled king-size bed, nightstands, and a reading chair, proving to buyers that their furniture will fit beautifully. The results are breathtaking. When done correctly, high-quality virtual staging is virtually indistinguishable from a physically staged home in an online photo. It creates the exact same emotional connection. It shows buyers the potential of the space. It helps them visualize their life there. It makes your listing photos pop off the screen and stop that endless scroll. It gives you all the benefits of traditional staging, but for a tiny fraction of the cost. We're not talking $10,000. We're not even talking $1,000. We're talking a few $100s to completely furnish an entire house digitally. There are no movers, no rental contracts, no risk of scratching your new hardwood floors. And the flexibility is infinite. Don't like that sofa? We can swap it out with a click. Want to appeal to a younger buyer with a more modern aesthetic? Done. Want to show a room as both a home office and a nursery? You can have both sets of photos. This isn't a gimmick. This is the future, and it's happening right now. Top producing agents across the United States are quietly using this as their secret weapon to sell homes faster and trigger bidding wars. But it's not just about slapping some digital furniture into a photo. There is a science and an art to doing it right. Using the wrong style, the wrong scale, or a low-quality provider can actually do more harm than good. And that is why I've created this comprehensive 10-part deep dive. Over the course of this series, we are going to pull back the curtain on absolutely everything you need to know to master the power of virtual staging. This isn't going to be a superficial overview. We are going deep. I will show you how to choose the right design style that speaks directly to the soul of your most likely buyer. We will cover the critical mistakes to avoid, like choosing furniture that makes a room look smaller, or using unrealistic digital lighting that screams fake. I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to take the perfect photos of your vacant home, the raw material that will make or break your staging. We will break down the psychology of why this works, tapping into the core emotional triggers of a home buyer. We'll examine real-world case studies of homes that sat on the market for months, only to sell in days with multiple offers over asking price after being virtually staged. I'll even walk you through the important ethical and legal guidelines, like proper disclosure, to ensure you're using this powerful tool correctly. This is your masterclass in creating an irresistible online listing that gets buyers off the couch and through your front door. So let's start with the fundamental truth of real estate. An empty house is a house without a soul. It's a collection of boxes, a series of beige walls and bare floors that asks more questions than it answers. When a potential buyer clicks on your listing and sees a photo of a vacant living room, their brain doesn't see a blank canvas. That's what we, as sellers, hope they see. No, their brain sees a problem to be solved. It sees a cognitive load. They're immediately hit with a barrage of subconscious questions. How big is this room, really? Would my couch even fit against that wall? Where would the TV go? Is this space cozy or just cold? This mental friction is the enemy of a quick sale. Every question, every moment of uncertainty, is a tiny crack in the foundation of their interest. They have to do the work. They have to mentally furnish the space, measure with their eyes, and try to project their own life onto a sterile, uninviting environment. And in the fast-paced swipe-right culture of online home searching, most buyers simply don't have the time, the energy, or the spatial imagination to do that heavy lifting. They'll just click to the next listing, the one that doesn't feel like homework. This is where virtual staging flips the entire script. It's not about trickery, it's about translation. It translates the potential of a space into a language every buyer understands, the language of emotion and lifestyle. It hijacks the buyer's imagination in the best way possible, replacing their questions with answers and their uncertainty with aspiration. Think about it. We don't buy products, we buy better versions of ourselves. You don't buy a sports car. You buy the feeling of freedom and status. You don't buy a Peloton. You buy the vision of a healthier, more disciplined you. And you don't buy a house. You buy the story of the life you will live inside it. Virtual staging is the tool that writes that story for the buyer, right there in the listing photos. Let's take a classic example. Imagine a standard 10 by 12-foot empty room. It's the spare bedroom. To a buyer, it's an enigma. Is it a guest room? A nursery? A home office? It's too small for a king bed, too big to be just a closet. It's an awkward, undefined space. Now let's virtually stage it. In Photo A, we add a sleek desk, an ergonomic chair, some floating shelves with books, and a stylish lamp. Suddenly, it's not an awkward spare room. It's a productive home office, a quiet sanctuary for the remote worker. We've just solved a major problem for the millions of Americans now working from home. In Photo B, we staged the exact same room with a crib, a rocking chair, and a soft rug. Now it's a charming nursery, perfect for a growing family. We're tapping into the powerful emotional dreams of new parents. In Photo C, we put in a yoga mat, a set of dumbbells, and a full-length mirror. It's now a private home gym, a space for wellness and self-care. By showcasing these possibilities, you're not just selling a room, you're selling a solution to a buyer's lifestyle needs. You're allowing different types of buyers to see their specific future in your home. The young professional sees their workspace. The new couple sees their baby's first room. The fitness enthusiast sees their personal studio. You've transformed a question mark into an exclamation point. You've taken one of your home's potential weaknesses, an undefined space, and turned it into one of its greatest strengths, versatility. This psychological power extends to every room in the house. Consider the living room. An empty living room often looks smaller than it actually is. The walls feel like they're closing in. There's no sense of scale. A buyer might look at the photo and think, there's no way our sectional will fit in there. But when you virtually stage it with a properly scaled, full-size sofa, 2 armchairs, a coffee table, and a rug, you're not just showing them furniture. You're giving them a visual ruler. You are proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a generous, functional space perfect for entertaining friends or having a family movie night. You're painting a picture of warmth, comfort, and connection. The buyer isn't just looking at a room. They're imagining themselves curled up on that very couch, laughing with their loved ones. That is an emotional connection, and emotional connections are what lead to offers. The master bedroom is another critical area. An empty master bedroom can feel sterile and uninviting, like a hotel room before you've checked in. It lacks the feeling of being a personal retreat. Buyers want to see a sanctuary, a place where they can unwind after a long day. By virtually staging it with a plush king-sized bed, elegant nightstands, soft lighting, and maybe a comfortable reading chair in the corner, you create that exact feeling. You answer the unspoken question, "Can I relax here?" with a resounding yes. You're selling the promise of peaceful nights and lazy Sunday mornings. You're selling a lifestyle of comfort and tranquility, which is infinitely more appealing than selling 4 walls and a floor. This isn't just theory. It's backed by cold, hard data from the front lines of real estate. The National Association of Realtors consistently finds that a vast majority, over 80%, of buyers' agents report that staging makes it easier for their clients to visualize a property as their future home. Think about that. 4 out of 5 buyers have an easier time falling in love with a home when you've done the imaginative work for them. Furthermore, staging a home has been shown to increase the dollar value buyers are willing to offer and significantly decrease the time a property sits on the market. Why? Because you're removing the guesswork. You're creating what psychologists call cognitive ease. When a buyer looks at an empty room, their brain has to work hard. It's a complex spatial and creative task. This effort, even if subconscious, can create a negative feeling associated with the property. But when they see a beautifully staged photo, their brain can process the information effortlessly. It's easy. It's pleasant. They can immediately understand the room's function, flow, and potential. This feeling of ease and clarity creates a positive association with your home. You've made the buying process easier for them, and that makes them more likely to take the next step, scheduling a showing. And let's be brutally honest about the first showing. Today, the first showing doesn't happen when a buyer walks through your front door. The first showing happens online on their phone, while they're sitting on their couch or waiting in line for coffee. You have seconds, literally seconds, to capture their attention and make them fall in love. Your listing photos are your one and only chance to make a killer first impression. Empty, lifeless photos get a quick swipe and are forgotten forever. But stunning, professionally staged photos stop the scroll. They make the buyer pause. They make them zoom in. They make them think, wow, I can see myself living there. They create an emotional spark that transforms your property from a mere listing on a web page into a must-see destination. They are the single most powerful tool you have to get people off the internet and into your home. So, we've established the deep psychological why. Virtual staging works because it speaks directly to the emotional, aspirational part of a buyer's brain. It tells a story, solves problems, and makes the buyer's decision-making process incredibly easy. It's the difference between showing someone a pile of lumber and showing them a beautifully crafted chair. One is a project, the other is a solution. But knowing why it works is only the first step. The real magic is in the execution. How do you choose the right style of furniture, modern, farmhouse, traditional, to appeal to your target buyer? How do you find a reputable, high-quality virtual staging company that won't make your home look like a cartoon? And crucially, how much does all of this cost and what's the real return on that investment? We're about to pull back the curtain on the entire process, turning you into a savvy consumer of this game-changing technology. So let's start with the absolute basics. How does a company take a photo of your empty, slightly sad-looking living room and transform it into a spread from Architectural Digest? The process is actually more straightforward than you might think, but the difference between amateur hour and a truly convincing result lies in the details. It all begins not with a computer but with a camera. Step 1, and I cannot stress this enough, is the quality of the photograph itself. This is the foundation upon which everything is built. If you start with a weak foundation, the entire structure will collapse. We're talking about professional-grade, high-resolution photos. You can't just snap a quick pic with your phone in bad lighting and expect magic. Think about it. If the original image is blurry, grainy, or poorly lit, any digital furniture placed into it will instantly look out of place. It's the digital equivalent of putting a brand new Armani suit on a scarecrow. It just doesn't work. The best virtual staging companies are sticklers for this. They'll want photos taken with a DSLR camera on a tripod, preferably using a technique called bracketing, where multiple exposures are taken and blended together to create a single image with perfect lighting in every corner, from the bright window to the dark hallway. This ensures that the digital artist has a clean, crisp, and realistically lit canvas to work on. If a service you're looking at says, "Oh yeah, just send us whatever photos you have," that's your first red flag. The pros know that garbage in equals garbage out. Okay, so you've got your professional photos. What's next? The room needs to be a blank canvas. Ideally, the room is completely empty. This gives the designers total freedom to create a cohesive vision from scratch. But let's be realistic. Most of us are living in our homes while trying to sell them. We have furniture. So what do you do with your worn-out sectional and the coffee table your kids covered in stickers? This is where a service called virtual decluttering, or item removal, comes into play. For an additional fee, designers can digitally erase your existing furniture. It's like Photoshop on steroids. They meticulously paint over your old stuff, rebuilding the floors, walls, and baseboards that were hidden behind it. The result? Your cluttered, lived-in room is suddenly a pristine, empty space, ready for its virtual makeover. This is a game-changer for sellers who can't afford to move everything into storage. It solves one of the biggest logistical headaches of home selling. Now we have our perfect empty room. This is where the artistry and strategy truly begin. Step 3 is the design brief. This is where you, or your real estate agent, decide on the feeling you want to evoke. Who is your target buyer? Are you selling a sleek downtown condo? You'll want a modern, minimalist, or even an industrial chic style. Is it a sprawling suburban house in a great school district? You'll lean towards transitional or modern farmhouse, styles that scream family, comfort, and stability. Selling a historic home in New England? Maybe a more traditional or colonial revival look is in order. This is the critical difference between good and bad virtual staging. Bad virtual staging just fills a room with furniture. It picks a generic couch, a generic table, and a generic lamp and calls it a day. The furniture might not even be to scale, making the room feel smaller or just off. Good virtual staging, on the other hand, tells a story. It uses a specific, curated style to help a buyer envision a specific lifestyle. It doesn't just add a couch, it adds a plush, deep-seated sectional with a cozy throw blanket, a stack of art books on the coffee table, and a warm, inviting area rug that makes you want to kick off your shoes and stay a while. Sells a dream, not just a floor plan. The best companies have vast digital libraries of high-end furniture models, and some even have actual interior designers who consult on the project to ensure every piece works together to create a compelling narrative. Once the style is chosen, we move to step 4, the digital magic itself. This is where the designers fire up sophisticated 3D modeling software. They're not just cutting and pasting JPEGs of couches. They are working with complex 3D models of furniture, the same kind of models used in Hollywood movies and high-end video games. Each model has texture, depth, and data about how it should react to light. And that is the secret sauce: light. The single biggest reason virtual staging looks fake or like a cartoon is a failure to correctly match the lighting and shadows of the original photograph. A master virtual stager is an artist of light. They analyze the photo to see exactly where the light is coming from. Is it a soft, diffused light from an overcast day? Is it a sharp, hard light from a sunny afternoon? They then render the 3D furniture models into the scene, ensuring that every shadow cast by the virtual furniture perfectly matches the direction, softness, and intensity of the natural shadows already in the room. They add subtle reflections onto the polished hardwood floors. They make sure the metallic legs of a chair have a believable sheen. They ensure the fabric on a sofa has realistic texture and depth. When it's done right, your brain can't tell the difference. It accepts the scene as a cohesive whole because all the visual cues line up. When it's done wrong, your brain's alarm bells go off. The couch looks like it's floating, the lighting is wrong, the shadows are missing, it screams fake. After the designer has worked their magic, we get to the final step: the reveal and revisions. Typically, you'll get your first draft of the staged photos back within 24 to 48 hours. This speed is a massive advantage over physical staging, which can take weeks to coordinate. And what if you don't like the art they chose for the wall, or you think a different color rug would work better? Most reputable services include at least one round of revisions in their price, allowing you to fine-tune the images until they're perfect. This brings us to the big question everyone's been waiting for. How much does this all cost? You're probably bracing yourself, thinking this level of digital artistry must cost a fortune. But this is where virtual staging truly blows the old way of doing things out of the water. Instead of the thousands of dollars in monthly rental fees required for physical staging, virtual staging is typically priced per photo. The cost can range anywhere from about $25 to over $100 per image, depending on the complexity and the quality of the provider. A standard package for a typical 3-bedroom home, staging the living room, dining room, master bedroom, and maybe a home office, might run you a few $100s. Total. A one-time fee. Think about that. For less than the cost of renting a single sofa for 1 month, you can furnish your entire house online in any style you want in about 2 days. The cost of virtually removing existing furniture might add another $20 or $30 per photo. Some companies even offer virtual renovation services, where they can change the wall color, refinish the floors, or even update a kitchen backsplash digitally, for a slightly higher fee. The value proposition is staggering. So you spend a few $100, you get these stunning magazine-quality photos of your home looking its absolute best. But does it actually translate into more interest, faster sales, and a higher price? Or do buyers see these pictures online, show up to an empty house, and feel deceived? We've covered the how and the how much. Now we need to tackle the most important question of all: the results. In the next part, we will dive headfirst into the psychology of the American homebuyer, exploring how these images tap into our deepest aspirations and looking at the hard data that reveals the true and often shocking return on investment for those few $100s. To understand why virtual staging works, we have to stop thinking like a seller and start thinking like a buyer. Imagine you're Sarah, a 34-year-old marketing manager, scrolling through Zillow on her lunch break. She's been looking for months. She's tired. She's seen hundreds of homes online, and they're all starting to blur together. She clicks on a new listing. The first photo is a large empty living room. Beige carpet, white walls, a window. What does her brain do? Stalls. Instantly, a dozen questions fire off in her subconscious. How big is this room, really? Would my sectional sofa even fit? Where would the TV go? Is that wall long enough for my bookshelf? This empty space isn't a blank canvas of possibility. It's a math problem she doesn't have the time or energy to solve. Feels cold, impersonal, and most importantly, it requires work. Her brain has to build a mental model from scratch, estimating dimensions, picturing furniture, and trying to inject a feeling of home into a sterile box. After a few seconds of this cognitive load, she feels a tiny wave of exhaustion and her thumb instinctively swipes to the next listing. She might not even know why. She just knows it didn't feel right. Now imagine Sarah swipes to your listing. The first photo is the exact same living room, but it's been virtually staged. A tasteful modern transitional sofa sits on a stylish area rug. A sleek coffee table holds a couple of books and a small plant. A flat-screen TV is mounted on the main wall, with a console table beneath it. Two cozy armchairs create a conversation nook by the window, where digital sunlight streams in. What happens in Sarah's brain now is a completely different story. There are no questions, no math problems. There is only one powerful, instantaneous reaction: recognition. Her brain doesn't see a room. It sees a life. Sees movie nights on that sofa. It sees reading a book in that armchair on a Sunday morning. It sees having friends over for drinks. The space is no longer an abstract collection of walls and floors. It's a fully formed, emotionally resonant scene. It's a story, and she can instantly see herself as the main character. This is the first psychological pillar of virtual staging. It eliminates cognitive friction. It answers all the buyer's subconscious questions before they even have a chance to ask them. It shows them the solution, not the problem. The human brain is fundamentally lazy. It loves shortcuts. An empty room is a long, winding detour. A staged room is a direct flight to an emotional destination. It allows the buyer to bypass the analytical, left side of their brain and connect directly with the emotional, aspirational right side. And in American real estate, emotion doesn't just get you in the door. Emotion is what signs the contract. This taps into the second, even more powerful psychological driver: aspirational identity. Nobody buys a house just for shelter. We buy a house because we believe it will facilitate a better version of our lives. We're buying the life we want to live. When a buyer sees a beautifully staged home, they aren't just thinking, "Oh, that's a nice couch." They are subconsciously thinking, "The person who lives here is organized, successful, has good taste, and is happy. If I buy this house, maybe I can be that person too." The virtual staging acts as a mirror, reflecting back a more idealized version of the buyer's own potential. It's selling the American dream, one perfectly placed digital throw pillow at a time. It transforms the property from a simple commodity, a collection of square feet and bedrooms, into a vehicle for personal transformation. And people will always pay more for a dream than they will for drywall. But this isn't just about feelings and psychology. If it were, it would just be a neat marketing trick. The reason this has become an absolute game changer in the industry is because these psychological principles translate into staggering, quantifiable results. The hard data is where the story gets truly compelling. Let's start with the most important metric for any seller: time on market. According to multiple industry reports, including data from the Real Estate Staging Association, physically staged homes sell, on average, 73% faster than their unstaged counterparts. And virtual staging produces nearly identical results in online perception. Think about what that means. A home that might languish on the market for 3 months. 3 months of mortgage payments, 3 months of uncertainty, 3 months of keeping your house perfectly clean for showings, could instead sell in just 3 weeks. That's 2 full months of your life you get back, and 2 full mortgage payments that stay in your pocket. But the speed is only half the equation. The other half is the sale price. A landmark survey by the National Association of Realtors found that 82% of buyers' agents said staging a home made it easier for a buyer to visualize the property as their future home. That visualization is what we talked about with Sarah. And what's the financial outcome of that feeling? The same report revealed that 23% of agents said that staging a home increased the dollar value offered by between 1 and 5%. Another 17% said it increased the offer by 6 to 10%. Now, those percentages might not sound huge at first glance, but let's put them into real-world American dollars. The median home price in the United States hovers around $400,000. A mere 3% increase on that price is $12,000. A 5% increase is $20,000. That's a new car. That's a year of college tuition. That's a significant chunk of your retirement savings. And it's all generated from creating the right first impression online. This is where the return on investment, the ROI, becomes almost absurd. Let's compare the costs. Traditional physical staging is incredibly effective, but it's also expensive. Renting furniture, paying for a designer's time, movers, insurance, you are easily looking at a bill of $3,000, $5,000, even $10,000 for a whole house staging, often with a multi-month commitment. It's a serious investment that many sellers simply can't afford. Now consider virtual staging. The cost to stage a single room, like that crucial living room or master bedroom photo, can be as low as $30 or $40. To do a full package of 5 or 6 key photos for your listing might cost you, on the high end, maybe $400. Let's just use that number. $400. So, you spend $400 to create those perfect aspirational images. Based on the national data, that $400 investment could realistically lead to a $12,000 increase in your final sale price. Let's pause and really break down that math. You give someone $400 and in return you get $12,000 back. That is not a 10% return or a 50% return. It is a 3,000% return on your investment. Find me another legal, ethical investment in the world that can reliably deliver a 3,000% return in a matter of weeks. You can't. This is the shocking, almost unbelievable power we're talking about. You are leveraging a few $100s to potentially capture tens of thousands of dollars in emotional value from a buyer. You're bridging the gap between what your house is, an empty space, and what a buyer wants it to be, a dream home. And you're getting paid handsomely for building that bridge. It is, without a doubt, the single highest ROI activity a home seller can undertake in the modern market. It's the closest thing to a magic wand that exists in real estate. But how does this magic wand actually work? What's the secret behind the spell it casts on potential buyers? It's not sorcery. Science. It's a deep, powerful, and often subconscious manipulation of human psychology. And understanding this is the key to unlocking its full financial potential. To do that, we need to first understand the fundamental flaw of the unstaged, empty home. The fatal assumption sellers make is that buyers have imagination. They don't. Or rather, they do, but they're not willing to use it when making the biggest financial decision of their lives. An empty room is a question mark. It's a blank canvas, and you're asking a stressed, time-poor buyer to be a master painter. You're asking them to mentally haul in their own furniture, to guess at dimensions, to project their own life onto a cold, sterile box of drywall and flooring. And the human brain, when faced with uncertainty and effort, does one of two things. It either stalls or it defaults to the negative. An empty living room doesn't feel full of possibility. It feels small. The echoes make it feel barren, not spacious. That awkward corner doesn't look like a potential reading nook. It looks like a design flaw. You're not selling a dream. You're selling a puzzle with half the pieces missing. And nobody wants to pay top dollar for a puzzle. This is the first psychological hurdle virtual staging obliterates. It removes the cognitive load. It takes that blank canvas and hands the buyer a finished masterpiece. It answers the questions before they're even asked. Will my king-sized bed fit in this master bedroom? Look, here it is, virtually staged with 2 nightstands and a dresser, and there's still room to walk around. Instantly, the question is answered. The doubt is erased. What could we possibly do with this strange, long room in the basement? Boom! It's now a stunning home theater with a sectional sofa, a big screen, and mood lighting. The problem hasn't just been solved. It's been transformed into a major selling point. You are taking every single point of friction, every moment of hesitation, and smoothing it over with a pixel-perfect solution. But this goes so much deeper than just showing where the furniture goes. This is about emotional inception. People don't buy houses. They buy feelings. They buy a vision of a better life. They're not purchasing square footage. They're purchasing the feeling of family dinners in the dining room, of lazy Sunday mornings in the bedroom, of watching their kids play in the yard from the kitchen window. An empty house is emotionally sterile. It's a product. A virtually staged house is a story. It's a home. Think about it. A buyer scrolls through a listing. They see an empty spare bedroom. Just a box. For walls, a window, a closet. It's forgettable. Then, they see the same room in the next listing, but this one is virtually staged. One version is a beautiful, serene home office, with a sleek desk, an ergonomic chair, and bookshelves filled with inspiration. The buyer, who has been struggling to work from their dining room table for the last 2 years, instantly has a jolt of recognition. They see the solution to their daily frustration. They feel a sense of calm, of productivity. They start to imagine their own laptop on that desk. Or let's say that same spare room is staged as a nursery. A crib, a rocking chair, soft pastels on the wall. A young couple looking for their first home doesn't just see a room. They see their future. They can almost hear the lullabies. They feel a powerful, visceral, emotional pull. They have just mentally and emotionally moved into your house. They've connected. That connection is the single most valuable asset you can create in a real estate transaction. Because people will fight for something they're emotionally connected to. They'll bid higher. They'll move faster. They'll overlook minor imperfections. They are no longer buying a structure. They are fighting to secure a future they have already vividly imagined. This leads to a powerful psychological principle known as the endowment effect. In simple terms, people place a higher value on things they own. Now, a buyer doesn't technically own your home yet. But virtual staging creates a kind of pre-endowment by allowing them to so clearly and easily visualize their life, their furniture, their family, their routines. In your space, you are giving them a powerful sense of psychological ownership. They've already moved in mentally. The thought of not getting the house is no longer a neutral outcome. It feels like a loss. They are now motivated by loss aversion, which psychologists will tell you is a far more powerful driver of human behavior than the prospect of gain. They aren't just trying to win the house anymore. They are fighting not to lose the home they already feel is theirs. And that is a recipe for a bidding war. Furthermore, virtual staging expertly directs the buyer's eye. In an empty home, every tiny scuff on the baseboard, every minor crack in the paint, every outdated light fixture screams for attention. There's nothing else to look at. The flaws are magnified because they exist in a vacuum. But when you introduce beautiful, modern, and aspirational furniture, you create a focal point. You tell the buyer's brain what's important. They're not staring at the slightly worn patch of carpet. They're admiring the gorgeous virtual sectional sofa and thinking about how great it would be for movie nights. They're not fixating on the off-center window. They're looking at the beautifully staged dining set and imagining hosting Thanksgiving. You're not hiding flaws. You're simply putting them in perspective by surrounding them with a compelling, positive vision. You are controlling the narrative of your home frame by frame. Every single image becomes an advertisement not just for the space, but for a lifestyle. That empty concrete patio? It's now a vibrant outdoor living area with a grill, comfortable seating, and string lights, selling the idea of summer barbecues. That bonus room above the garage? It's a home gym, appealing to health-conscious buyers, or a playroom, capturing the hearts of families with young children. You can even tailor the staging to your most likely buyer demographic. If you're in a neighborhood popular with young professionals, that spare room becomes the home office. In a retirement community, it becomes a hobby room or a guest suite for the grandkids. It's marketing precision on a level that was unimaginable with traditional physical staging. So let's be perfectly clear. Virtual staging is not just about making empty rooms look pretty. It is a strategic psychological tool. It is about reducing cognitive load, eliminating buyer uncertainty, creating a powerful emotional connection, triggering the endowment effect, and controlling the narrative of your property. You are systematically dismantling every mental barrier that stands between a potential buyer and them falling in love with your home. You're not just showing them four walls and a roof. You are building a bridge directly into their aspirations, into their dreams for the future. You are selling them the most compelling product on earth, a better version of their own life, and they will pay a massive premium for it. But how do we quantify that premium? How do we move from this powerful, almost philosophical idea of selling a dream to the nuts and bolts of getting a contract signed for $10,000, $20,000, or even $50,000 more? The answer lies in understanding a fundamental flaw in human psychology that affects nearly every single homebuyer, whether they know it or not. It's what I call the paradox of the blank canvas. Buyers will tell you, and they genuinely believe it, that they want to see an empty house. A blank canvas, where they can project their own vision. Sounds logical. Sounds easy. But in reality, for over 90% of people, an empty house isn't a canvas. It's a void. It's a psychological puzzle that their brain is not equipped to solve efficiently. When a potential buyer walks into an empty living room, they aren't filled with inspiration. They are paralyzed by questions. How big is this space, really? Will my sectional sofa fit here? Or will it swallow the entire room? Where would the TV even go? Is this wall long enough for our entertainment center? This room feels cold. It echoes. It feels impersonal, like a warehouse, not a home. You are forcing the buyer to do all the mental heavy lifting. You are asking them to be an interior designer, a space planner, and a visionary, all while they're trying to make the biggest financial decision of their lives. This creates something called cognitive load. Their brain is burning precious energy just trying to figure out the basic function and scale of a room, instead of experiencing the emotional connection you need them to feel. They can't imagine their future life in the space because they're too busy trying to solve a three-dimensional geometry problem. And when the brain gets tired or confused, its default response is to say no. It's a defense mechanism. This is too much work. This doesn't feel right. Let's go see the next house. This problem is just as severe, if not more so, on the other end of the spectrum, the seller-occupied home filled with personal belongings. Now the buyer doesn't have a blank canvas problem. They have a someone else's life problem. They can't see past your family photos on the mantle. They can't envision their modern, minimalist furniture in a room dominated by your large, traditional floral patterned sofa. They are mentally calculating the cost to repaint your bright purple accent wall. They are distracted by the clutter, the specific taste, the very essence of you that still lives in that house. They aren't seeing their future home. They're politely touring your current one, feeling like an intruder. They can't build that bridge to their own aspirations because the bridge is already crowded with all of your stuff. This is where virtual staging ceases to be a gimmick and becomes one of the most powerful psychological tools in the entire real estate arsenal. It solves both of these problems with surgical precision. Let me tell you about a seller. Let's call her Jennifer, from Scottsdale, Arizona. Jennifer had a beautiful modern-style home. Great bones, great location. But she had already relocated for a new job, so the house was completely empty. For 60 agonizing days, it sat on the market. The feedback was always the same. We like the house, but the layout is a bit odd. The living room feels long and narrow. We're not sure what to do with that extra room off the kitchen. The house was a classic victim of the blank canvas paradox. Her realtor, on the verge of suggesting a major price drop, proposed a different strategy: a modest investment in virtual staging. Jennifer was skeptical. "You want me to put fake computer furniture in the pictures?" But facing another month of mortgage payments on an empty house, she agreed. The transformation was electric. That long and narrow living room was staged with a sleek, low-profile sectional, 2 accent chairs, and a coffee table, creating a clear and inviting conversation area. It instantly showed buyers not just that their furniture would fit, but how to arrange it to create a warm, functional space. The odd extra room off the kitchen? It was virtually staged as a stunning home office with built-in bookshelves and a view of the backyard. Suddenly, it wasn't an odd room. It was a high-value feature, a dedicated work-from-home space that buyers were desperately seeking. The master bedroom, which previously felt like an empty ballroom, was given a king-sized bed, nightstands, a sitting area, and a beautiful rug. It went from being intimidatingly large to luxuriously spacious. The realtor took down the old empty photos and uploaded the new, virtually staged ones. The effect was immediate. Online clicks on the listing tripled in 48 hours. Showings, which had slowed to a trickle, were suddenly booked solid for the entire weekend. Why? Because buyers weren't looking at an empty architectural shell anymore. They were looking at a fully realized home. They were looking at a story. They could see the life they wanted to live, rendered in beautiful photorealistic detail. When those same buyers walked into the now famous open house, they weren't confused by the empty rooms. They were armed with a perfect mental blueprint. They held their phones swiping back to the staged photos, saying things like, "Oh, I see. This is where the couch goes, and we can put the reading chair right over there." The virtual staging didn't just sell them on the photos. It gave them the key to understanding and loving the physical space. The result? Jennifer's house received 2 offers that weekend, both over the asking price. It sold in 5 days for $17,000 more than she was about to drop the price by. The small investment in virtual staging didn't just save her from a price reduction. It generated a massive return and erased months of stress and uncertainty. This isn't just about making a room look pretty. It's about defining purpose. It's about solving problems before a buyer even knows they exist. That awkward basement space? It's now a home theater and a game room. That small forgotten third bedroom? It's now the perfect nursery or a highly functional craft room. You are removing every ounce of friction, every question mark, every bit of cognitive load from the buyer's mind. You are replacing confusion with clarity, and you're replacing doubt with desire. You are taking the raw potential of a property and curating it into a finished, irresistible product. So when you think about the cost of selling a home, the commissions, the closing costs, the potential price reductions, the idea of using a tool this powerful becomes less of an expense and more of a necessity. But that brings up the single biggest question people have when they see this technology. Hey, this is amazing. Jennifer's story is a game changer. But this has to be astronomically expensive, right? You're talking about high-end digital artists, sophisticated software, creating photorealistic images from scratch. It sounds like something only luxury real estate agents with million-dollar budgets could afford. You're comparing it to the cost of physical staging, the moving trucks, the furniture rental for months on end, the insurance, the sheer logistical nightmare of it all. And that's where the entire equation gets flipped on its head. The actual cost of virtual staging, the real-world numbers you would pay to get this done, is so shockingly low it almost feels like a cheat code for the real estate market. So let's talk numbers. Let's pull back the curtain on this cheat code. To understand just how game-changing the price is, you first have to understand the alternative. Traditional physical home staging. If you've ever looked into it, you know it's a serious financial commitment. You're not just renting furniture. You're paying for a designer's time, a moving crew to bring everything in, another crew to take it all out, insurance in case anything gets damaged. It's a whole operation. We're talking an initial investment that can easily range from $3,000 to $10,000, or even more for a larger luxury home. And that's just to get started. Most staging companies require a 2 or 3 month minimum contract. So on top of that initial fee, you're often paying a recurring monthly rental fee, which can be another $1,000, $2,000 a month. So, before you've even gotten your first offer, you could be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in the hole. And all that money is spent just to furnish a house that you are actively trying to get rid of. It's a huge, stressful gamble. You're betting thousands of dollars that this investment will pay off, all while the clock is ticking and your carrying costs are piling up. Okay, remember that number. Let's just say a conservative average is $5,000 to get a basic staging package in place for a couple of months. Now let's look at the virtual alternative. The cost to professionally, photorealistically stage a single photograph. It's not $1,000. It's not $500. It's not even $100. On average, across the United States, the cost to virtually stage one high-resolution photo ranges from about $25 to $75 per photo. Let that sink in for a second. $25. Let's do the math. You don't need to stage every single photo in your listing. You just need to stage the key ones that make the biggest impact. The living room to show the heart of the home. The empty master bedroom to show it can be a serene sanctuary. The vacant dining area to show it's perfect for family gatherings. Maybe the back patio to show an outdoor living space. Let's say you choose 5 critical photos. Even if you go with a top-tier, premium service at the high end of that range, let's say $75 per photo, your total out the door, one-time cost for staging those 5 images is $375. $375 versus $5,000. It's not even in the same sport. It's not in the same universe. It's the difference between buying a gourmet sandwich for lunch and buying the entire restaurant. The financial barrier to entry has been completely obliterated. This incredible marketing power, once reserved for high-end listings or sellers with deep pockets, is now accessible to literally everyone. But here's where the thinking needs to evolve. The cost of virtual staging isn't the most important number in this equation. The most important number is the cost of not doing it. Every single day your house sits on the market, it is actively costing you money. This is what's known as carrying costs. And most sellers drastically underestimate how much this actually is. You have your mortgage payment, that's the big one. You have your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance, your utilities, the electricity, the water, the gas you have to keep on. If you're in a condo or a specific neighborhood, you have HOA fees. Let's create a hypothetical but very realistic scenario. Meet the Millers. They're selling their 3-bedroom home to move to a new state for a job. Their monthly mortgage payment is $2,400. Their property taxes work out to about $500 a month. Insurance is $150. And their baseline utilities and HOA fees come to about $350 a month. When you add all of that up, the Millers' total carrying cost is $3,400 every single month. That's over $113 a day. Every day that house doesn't sell, $113 evaporates from their bank account. Now let's go back to our virtual staging investment. $375. If that investment helps the Millers sell their home just 1 month faster, and studies show it often does much more than that, they haven't just spent $375. They have saved $3,400 in carrying costs. They've avoided 1 entire month of financial bleed. But it gets even more dramatic. What's the number one thing a real estate agent suggests when a house has been sitting on the market for 30 or 45 days with no good offers? It's time for a price reduction. This is the seller's worst nightmare. A price reduction is the single most expensive mistake you can make. The first price drop is rarely small. It has to be significant enough to trigger new alerts for buyers and make the market sit up and take notice. We're usually talking a minimum of $10,000 to $15,000 on a medium-priced home. Think about that choice. It's a fork in the road. Path A is to invest a few $100s up front, the cost of a nice dinner out, to present your home in its absolute best light from day one. You create that emotional connection, you generate more interest, you get more buyers through the door, and you give yourself the best possible chance of getting a strong offer quickly. Path B is to skip that small investment. You list the home with empty, echoing photos. The online traffic is slow. The showings are sparse. The feedback is that buyers can't visualize the space. A month goes by. Your agent calls you with that dreaded tone in their voice. And now you're staring down the barrel of a $10,000 price cut. The decision isn't, should I spend $375? The real decision is, do I want to spend $375 now? Or do I want to be forced to spend $10,000 later? When you frame it that way, virtual staging stops looking like an expense and starts looking like the cheapest insurance policy you could ever buy for your home's value. Let's talk about return on investment, or ROI, because this is where the business case becomes an absolute slam dunk. If spending $375 saves you 1 month of carrying costs at $3,400, your return on that investment is over 900%. Find me another investment in the entire world that can reliably give you a 900% return in 30 days. It doesn't exist. But what if it prevents that $10,000 price drop? You invested $375 and it protected $10,000 of your equity. Your return on investment is 2,666%. The numbers are so staggering they almost seem fake. But they're not. This is the simple, brutal math of the real estate market. Now, of course, there's a huge caveat to all of this. These incredible results are all predicated on one thing: quality. Not all virtual staging is created equal. There's a massive difference between cheap, amateur hour staging and high-end, photorealistic staging. Bad virtual staging can actually be worse than no staging at all. If a buyer can instantly tell that the furniture is fake, if it looks like it was cut and pasted from a cartoon, if the shadows are wrong and the scale is off, you don't just lose the emotional connection, you lose trust. It makes the buyer wonder, what else are they faking? What else are they trying to hide? The goal of brilliant virtual staging is for the buyer to not even realize it's virtual. It should look so real, so natural, so perfectly integrated into the photo that their brain simply accepts it as reality. They just see a beautiful, aspirational living space. This level of quality is what unlocks the psychological and financial benefits we've been talking about. So the numbers are a slam dunk. The logic is undeniable. But this is where most people get it wrong. They hear virtual staging, they find the cheapest person on the internet, and they end up with digital furniture that looks like it was clipped out of a 90s video game. They destroy all the value we've just talked about. The secret isn't just that you do it, but how you do it. And the common mistakes, they're not what you think. In fact, the single biggest mistake people make happens before they even take the first photo. It's the failure to prepare the physical, empty space before the camera even comes out of the bag. So many people think, it's virtual, they can just Photoshop it. That is a catastrophic misunderstanding of how this works. Virtual staging is not magic. It is a layer of digital furniture placed on top of a real photograph of a real room. And the foundational rule of all digital work is garbage in, garbage out. If the canvas is flawed, the masterpiece will be a forgery. Think about it. A professional photographer comes into your vacant home. The floors haven't been deep cleaned in weeks, so there's a thin layer of dust and a few scuff marks near the door. There are still nail holes in the walls from where your family photos used to hang. One of the outlet covers has a small crack in it. You think, no big deal, they're staging it, they'll cover that up. Wrong. Those high-resolution, wide-angle lens photos that make rooms look so bright and spacious? They also act as a high-powered microscope for every single imperfection. That scuff mark on the hardwood floor? It doesn't get hidden by the virtual rug. The edge of the rug will look crisp and digital, and the real physical scuff mark will be peeking out right next to it, creating a jarring contrast that screams fake. That nail hole above the virtually placed headboard? A buyer's eye will be drawn to it like a magnet. It subconsciously plants a seed of doubt. If they neglected this tiny detail, what else did they neglect? The single most important step in virtual staging is to treat the empty room as if you were preparing it for a final showing. It must be professionally cleaned. I'm talking baseboards wiped, windows washed, floors so clean you can see your reflection. All minor repairs must be done. Spackle and touch up the paint on those nail holes. Replace that cracked outlet cover. It costs $3. Fix that leaky faucet. These tiny investments in the physical space pay enormous dividends in the digital one. Because when a designer places a stunning, virtual restoration hardware sofa into a photograph of a room that is physically pristine, the illusion becomes seamless. It becomes reality. The buyer isn't looking at a picture of a room. They're looking through a window into their future home. But once you've perfected the canvas, the mistakes don't stop there. The second biggest error, and this one is rampant, is a complete failure to match the style of the staging to the soul of the home. This is where art meets marketing. You cannot take a one-size-fits-all approach. Dropping ultramodern, low-profile Italian leather furniture into a 1920s craftsman-style home in a historic neighborhood is a marketing crime. It creates a deep, unsettling cognitive dissonance. The person looking to buy a historic craftsman is seeking warmth, character, built-in bookshelves, and a sense of history. The sleek, minimalist furniture sends a completely opposite signal. It tells that perfect buyer, this home is not for you. Conversely, if you're selling a brand new $2 million penthouse in a glass tower overlooking the city, you don't stage it with a cozy, rustic farmhouse dining table. The target buyer for that property is looking for status, sophistication, and a lifestyle that matches the price tag. The staging must scream luxury. It has to look like a high-end designer, not a hobbyist curated the space. The virtual furniture you choose is a direct message to your ideal buyer. It has to speak their language, reflect their aspirations, and feel like the next logical step in their life's journey. Get the style wrong and you're advertising your home to the wrong people, guaranteeing it will sit on the market. This leads directly into the third mistake, which is more technical but just as damaging: unrealistic scale and layout. This is the amateur's calling card. They'll cram a gigantic virtual sectional sofa into a living room that can barely fit a love seat. They'll place a king-size bed in a bedroom that, in reality, would have no room for nightstands. Why do they do this? To make the rooms look bigger, or to show off that you can fit a king bed. But it backfires spectacularly. First, the human brain is incredibly adept at recognizing when something is off with scale, even if we can't articulate why. A photo with a slightly too large couch just feels weird. It breaks the illusion. Second, and more importantly, it's deceptive. The moment a potential buyer who loved the photos walks into the actual room, their first thought isn't, wow, what a great space. It's, wait a minute. This is way smaller than it looked online. You have instantly shattered their trust. You've created a feeling of disappointment before they've even seen the rest of the house. The goal of staging isn't to trick people. It's to eliminate question marks and showcase potential. A good virtual stager uses furniture to demonstrate a room's best possible, realistic layout. They'll use an appropriately sized sofa to highlight the room's great flow to the patio, not a massive one that virtually blocks it. They show function, not fantasy. The fourth mistake is almost the opposite, and it's a bit more advanced. It's the failure to fully leverage the virtual in virtual staging. Most people just think of it as adding furniture to an empty room. That's level 1. The pros, the ones who get their clients 10% over asking price, use it to solve problems and sell a dream. Do you have a weird, awkward bonus room over the garage that buyers can't figure out? Don't just leave it empty. Stage one half as a perfect home office and the other half as a kid's playroom. You've just solved a huge problem for the young family who needs both. Do you have a boring, empty concrete slab for a backyard? An amateur leaves it empty. A pro virtually stages it with a stunning outdoor kitchen, a beautiful pergola, a fire pit, and comfortable seating. You haven't just added furniture. You've transformed a $30 slab of concrete into a $50,000 outdoor entertainer's oasis in the buyer's mind. You're selling the experience, the parties, the summer nights. You can even take it a step further with what's called virtual renovation. If the kitchen is functional but dated, think 1990s oak cabinets and laminate countertops, you can show a photo of the kitchen as is and right next to it a virtually renovated version. Same layout, but with the cabinets virtually painted white, a quartz countertop digitally added, and a new backsplash put in. You add a disclaimer. Vision of potential renovation. You are showing buyers the future. You're removing the obstacle of their own lack of imagination and showing them exactly how amazing the home could be with a few simple changes. This is how you unlock a property's hidden value without lifting a hammer. Finally, there's the fifth mistake, the subtle one that separates the great from the good. The too perfect problem. This happens when a stager creates a room that looks like a sterile computer rendering. Every pillow is perfectly fluffed and karate chopped. Every throw blanket is draped with geometric precision. There's no sign of life. It's beautiful, but it's not relatable. It feels cold and untouchable. The best virtual staging tells a story. It has a touch of humanity. Instead of a perfect magazine cover, It feels like you've just walked into a beautiful home moments after the owner stepped out. Maybe there's a book left open on the nightstand, a pair of wine glasses and an open bottle on the virtually staged patio table, a bowl of lemons on the kitchen island that adds a pop of color and a sense of freshness. These tiny, intentional details make the image feel real. They make it feel attainable. They allow the buyer to stop seeing a staged house and start seeing their own life unfolding within those walls. Avoiding these 5 pitfalls: preparing the physical space, matching the style to the home, using realistic scale, leveraging the virtual possibilities, and adding a human touch, is the difference between an empty listing that gets ignored and a dynamic showcase that generates a bidding war. It's not just about adding furniture. It's about expert marketing, psychology, and storytelling. So now you know the mission-critical mistakes to avoid. But that leads to the biggest question of all. How do you find the right person or company to execute this vision? How do you separate the cheap amateurs from the high-return professionals? What are the red flags to look for, the key questions you must ask? And what should you actually expect to pay for a service that can make you tens of thousands of dollars more? We're about to build the exact blueprint for finding, vetting, and hiring the perfect virtual staging pro. Alright, let's lay the first brick of that blueprint. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, starts not with a phone call but with a search. And where you search is the first critical decision point that separates a smooth, profitable experience from a frustrating, costly one. Your first instinct might be to just type virtual staging service into Google. And while that's a start, it's like trying to find a specific fish by just staring at the ocean. You need to know where the best fishing spots are. First, you have the big freelance marketplaces. Think Upwork, Fiverr. These platforms are a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have an endless sea of providers from all over the world, often at incredibly low price points. You can find someone willing to stage a photo for $10, maybe even $5. The appeal is obvious, but the risk is equally massive. You're often dealing with individuals, not established companies. Quality can be wildly inconsistent. One person's photorealistic is another's looks like a video game from 2005. Vetting here is a full-time job in itself, and communication can be a hurdle. It's the Wild West, and while you might find gold, you're just as likely to find a ghost town. Then you have the dedicated, specialist virtual staging companies. These are businesses whose entire existence revolves around one thing: making empty rooms look incredible. Their websites are polished, their portfolios are deep, and they have established processes and customer support. They're not just a single person with a copy of Photoshop. They're teams of designers with vast digital furniture libraries and a deep understanding of interior design trends that appeal to American buyers. This is where you'll find the most consistent, high-quality work. The price is higher, absolutely, but you're buying peace of mind, reliability, and a level of professionalism that the freelance world often can't match. Finally, there's the most overlooked but often most valuable source: your real estate agent. A top-tier agent in your market has likely worked with virtual stagers before. They've already done the trial and error. They know who delivers on time, who understands the local aesthetic, and who produces images that actually get results in your specific zip code. Asking your agent for a referral is like getting a cheat code. They have a vested interest in your success, so they're only going to recommend someone who they trust to make your property, and by extension, them, look good. So you've chosen your hunting ground. Now comes the most important part of the entire process: vetting the portfolio. This is where you become an art critic, a detective, and a homebuyer all at once. Do not, and I repeat, do not be swayed by one or two hero images on their homepage. You need to dig deep into their gallery of work. Open up their portfolio and ask yourself, does this look real? It sounds simple, but the devil is in the details. Look at the lighting and shadows. This is the #1 giveaway of amateur work. Does the virtual sofa cast a soft, realistic shadow on the floor? Does the light from the window realistically reflect off the surface of the virtual glass coffee table? If the furniture looks like it's floating, or lit from a different direction than the room itself, close the tab and move on. The human brain is incredibly good at spotting fakes, even subconsciously. A poorly staged photo screams something is wrong here. And that's the last thing you want a potential buyer to feel. Next, examine the scale and proportion. Does that king-size bed make the master bedroom look cramped and tiny? Is the dining room table so small it looks like it belongs in a dollhouse? A true professional understands interior design principles. They don't just dump furniture into a room. They use furniture to define the space, create flow, and highlight the room size and potential. They know how to make a small room feel cozy and a large room feel grand, not just empty. And finally, look at the style. Does their portfolio show a wide range of styles? Can they do modern farmhouse, mid-century modern, coastal, traditional? Or does every single room have the same gray couch and the same generic art on the wall? You need a stager who can match the style of the furniture to the architectural style of your home and the tastes of your target buyer. Staging a historic colonial home like a minimalist Miami condo is a recipe for disaster. A great portfolio will show versatility and a keen eye for cohesive design. They should be able to look at your empty room and see not just what can fit, but what should be there to evoke the right emotion. Okay, you've found a few candidates with stunning portfolios. Now it's time to pick up the phone or draft that email. This is the interrogation phase, and asking the right questions here will save you from major headaches down the road. Your first question should always be, what is your average turnaround time? In real estate, time is money. Every day your house sits on the market, it's costing you. You need a stager who can work on your timeline. A typical professional turnaround is 24 to 48 hours. If they quote you a week, they might be overloaded or inefficient. Question number 2, and this is non-negotiable. What is your revision policy? No designer is a mind reader. There's a chance you won't love the first draft. Maybe the rug is too bold, or you'd prefer a different piece of art over the fireplace. A professional service will almost always include 1 or 2 rounds of revisions in their price. A budget provider might charge you for every single tweak, or worse, not offer revisions at all. You need the flexibility to get the image perfect. Question number 3. Can I see your furniture library, or can I request specific styles? This separates the pros from the template-driven factories. A top-tier stager has a massive, constantly updated library of high-end 3D furniture models. They can pull a specific Eames lounge chair or a restoration hardware-style dining set. Lesser services use a limited, often outdated stock library, which is why so many cheap staging photos look the same. You want a collaborator, not a vending machine. Now let's talk about the big one, the money. What should you actually expect to pay? The price of virtual staging can range from $5 a photo to over $100 a photo, and understanding what you get at each price point is crucial. At the absolute bottom, the sub-$20 per photo range, you are almost always dealing with overseas freelancers or high-volume, low-quality factories. They use basic software, limited furniture libraries, and often pay little attention to the details we just discussed, like realistic lighting and scale. This is a gamble. You might get something usable, but you're more likely to get an image that looks fake and could actually hurt your listing more than an empty photo would. The sweet spot for most sellers, offering the best balance of quality and value, is typically in the $30 to $75 per photo range. This is where you'll find the dedicated US-based staging companies and top-tier professionals. For this price, you should expect photorealistic quality, a choice of design styles, a professional process, and at least 1 round of revisions. They understand the nuances of the American real estate market and produce images that are designed to convert browsers into showings. This is an investment, not an expense. Then you have the premium high-end tier, which can be $100 or more per photo. This is for luxury listings, high-end architectural properties, or sellers who want a truly bespoke, concierge-level service. At this price, you might be working directly with a senior interior designer who will consult with you on a custom design plan for the entire house, offering unlimited revisions and an unparalleled level of realism and artistry. For a multi-million-dollar listing, this can be worth every penny. So when you're looking at the price, don't just see the dollar amount. See the value behind it. Spending $300 to have 5 key photos professionally staged could easily net you an extra $5,000 to $10,000 on your final sale price by attracting more buyers and creating a more competitive bidding environment. In that context, settling for a $10 per photo job that makes your home look cheap isn't saving you money. It's costing you a fortune and lost potential. You have the blueprint, you know the questions to ask, and you understand the investment. You are now armed and ready to hire the perfect virtual staging professional to transform your listing. But here's the critical final piece of the puzzle. Even with the best designer in the world, there are landmines you can step on during the final process, mistakes that can sabotage all of this hard work. Choosing the wrong photos to stage, using the images incorrectly in your listing, or making one common legal blunder can turn your brilliant investment into a waste of time. And we're about to walk through exactly what those mistakes are, and how you can avoid every single one of them. Let's start with the absolute foundation, the bedrock upon which your entire virtual staging success is built. The original photographs. This is mistake number 1, and it's the easiest to make. You think, the room is empty, I'll just snap a quick picture with my phone. The stager will fix it. No, they won't. They can't. Sending a virtual stager a dark, blurry, or poorly angled photo is like giving a master painter a dirty, crumpled napkin and asking for the Mona Lisa. The principle is simple. Garbage in, garbage out. The stager needs high resolution, professionally taken photos. We're talking wide-angle lenses, proper lighting, and crisp focus. The software they use to add furniture needs clean lines, accurate light sources, and clear spatial information to work its magic. If the original photo has weird shadows, the virtual furniture will have to match those weird shadows, making it look fake. If the angle is skewed, the virtual sofa will look like it's sliding off the floor. Before you even think about hiring a stager, invest in a professional real estate photographer. It's not an optional expense. It's the price of entry. Skipping this step is like building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. It will collapse, and your investment in staging will collapse with it. Okay, so you've got your gorgeous professional photos. You're safe, right? Not yet. Now you face mistake number 2. The uncanny valley of bad staging. This is where the virtual furniture and decor look off. It's not just one thing. It's a collection of subtle errors that scream fake to a buyer's subconscious mind. The most common culprit is scale. A massive, oversized sectional crammed into a small living room, or a tiny little rug floating in the middle of a vast master bedroom. It breaks the illusion because it defies physics. Another one is style whiplash. Putting ultramodern chrome and glass furniture into a historic craftsman home. It doesn't honor the house. It feels like a bizarre costume party. The staging should complement the home's architecture, not fight it. Then you have the floating furniture phenomenon, where a chair or table doesn't look quite grounded, like it's hovering an inch off the floor. And the lighting, oh, the lighting. If the light in the photo is coming from a window on the left, but the shadow on the virtual sofa is falling to the left, the buyer's brain detects a glitch in the matrix. They might not know why it looks wrong, but they'll feel it. The solution? Don't just hire the cheapest service you can find on Fiverr. Look at portfolios. Do their rooms look believable? Do they understand scale, lighting, and interior design principles? Pay for an expert who is both a technician and an artist. Their job isn't just to drop JPGs of furniture into a room. It's to create a plausible, aspirational vision of life in that home. Now let's talk about the mistake that can land you in serious hot water. Mistake number 3. The deception trap. This is the legal and ethical minefield of virtual staging. And it all comes down to one word: disclosure. Imagine a buyer scrolling through Zillow. They see your listing. They see a beautiful living room with flawless, gleaming hardwood floors. They see a kitchen with pristine, brand new stainless steel appliances. They fall in love. They book a showing, drive an hour in traffic, and walk in the door, only to find that the gleaming hardwood is actually badly stained carpeting, and the new appliances are old, dated models. The virtual stager didn't just add furniture. They digitally altered the permanent fixtures of the home. This is not staging. This is misrepresentation. And it's a fantastic way to get a complaint filed against you with the realtor board, or even face legal action for deceptive advertising. The buyer feels tricked, their trust is shattered, and any chance of a good faith negotiation is gone. The rule is crystal clear. You can use virtual staging to add to a room, but not to alter it. You can't change the flooring, paint the walls a different color, remove a crack in the ceiling, or Photoshop a new countertop onto the kitchen island. And critically, you must always disclose that the images are virtually staged. On the MLS, there's usually a checkbox for this. In your photo gallery, the first few words of the description for every staged photo should be virtually staged. Be upfront. Be transparent. The goal is to showcase potential, not to create a fantasy that reality can't match. This leads us right into mistake number 4, which is a tactical error that can completely undermine your efforts. The listing labyrinth. This is all about how you use the photos in your online listing. You've got your beautiful, professionally shot empty room photos, and you've got your beautifully, ethically staged virtual photos. What's the right order? Many agents make the mistake of only showing the staged photos. This can feel a little disingenuous to savvy buyers. Others make the mistake of leading with the empty room, which squanders the whole point of staging, to make a powerful first impression. Here is the winning formula. The hero shot, the very first photo in your listing, must be the absolute best, most stunning virtually staged photo you have. This is your hook. It's the image that stops the scroll and makes someone click. It should be the living room, the kitchen, or a great room, the heart of the home. Your next several photos should also be the staged versions of the most important rooms. The master bedroom, the dining area, the home office. You are selling the dream first. Then, after you've presented the vision, you follow up each staged photo with the corresponding photo of the empty room. Staged living room, then empty living room. Staged master bedroom, then empty master bedroom. Why? This does two things. First, it's the ultimate form of transparency. You are showing them the dream, and then you are immediately showing them the blank canvas they will actually be getting. It builds trust. Second, it helps buyers mentally bridge the gap. They see the potential, and then they see the reality, making it easier for them to plan and visualize their own belongings in the space. It's the perfect one-two punch of inspiration and information. Finally, we arrive at mistake number 5, the one that ties everything together: the price disconnect. Virtual staging is an incredibly powerful tool for emotional connection, but it can't magically change the physical condition of the house. The mistake is thinking that a beautifully staged photo justifies a price that the home's actual condition doesn't support. If you virtually stage a home to look like $1 million luxury condo, but in reality it needs a new roof, has a 30-year-old HVAC system, and the carpets are worn, buyers are going to walk in and feel an immediate and jarring disconnect between the price and the property. The staging set an expectation of quality that the house itself did not meet. This is where your realtor's expertise is crucial. The pricing strategy must be based on the home's tangible features, its location, its condition, and comparable sales, not on the aspirational images you've created. The virtual staging is the marketing tool that gets people in the door and helps them see past the emptiness. It gets them to fall in love with the layout and the potential, but the price has to be grounded in reality. When the perceived value from the photos aligns with the real-world value of the home, that's when you get fast, strong offers. If there's a gap, all you get is disappointed buyers and a listing that grows stale. So, after navigating all these potential pitfalls, what's the takeaway? It's that virtual staging isn't a magic wand. It's a precision instrument. When used correctly, it is one of the most cost-effective, high-impact marketing tools available in real estate today. It allows you to transform a cold, empty space into a warm, inviting home. It helps buyers overcome the failure of imagination that prevents them from seeing a house's true potential. It creates an emotional connection before they even step foot inside. But to harness that power, you must be meticulous. You have to start with a foundation of brilliant photography. You have to insist on realistic, tasteful staging that honors the home. You must be relentlessly transparent and disclose everything. You need a smart strategy for how you present the photos in your listing. And you must ground your price in the reality of the property itself. Do all of this and you're not just selling a house. You're selling a future. You're selling a vision. You're giving buyers the key not just to a front door, but to a life they can picture themselves living. And in today's competitive market, that is how you sell a home faster, for more money, and leave buyers feeling excited and confident in their decision. That is the true power of virtual staging.